taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's day trading live stream. Today's Friday, January 16th. S&P futures up 13 points, NASDAQ up 140, Russell up 4, and the Dow is up 3. NASDAQ the strongest, up a little over 0.5%. Gold down a third, silver down almost 4%. A couple days in a row, I've had a little bit of a sell-off in metals. Notes and bonds a little bit red. 10-year yield up a little over 0.5%. Oil up 1.3. Natural gas down 1.6. Soybeans a little bit red. Wheat's up over 1%. Corn's up 0.5%. Euro and the pound flat, slightly green. Bitcoin up 1/3%, and the VIX down almost 2%. Currently at 15.55. So, got a couple things going on this morning that I need to make happen before I do any day trading. Number one, I'll be entering a 6-7 put calendar near the open. My bot will take care of that. No 1DTE. We've got the VIX down a couple percent. May do a discretionary one at some point today, but we'll see. And then I've got 2 OPEX calendars on, one in my Schwab account and one in Interactive Brokers. So shortly after the open, I am going to close those. Just need to close the remaining long put. Otherwise, we will be looking for some action after that. MU's up almost 5%. AMD's up 2.5%. Intel's up 2%. ASML up 2%. So a lot of chips strong this morning. NVIDIA's up 1%. DraftKings is the weakest, and it's only down 1%. Goldman Sachs down a little bit. So pretty muted open. Also, no real scheduled news events today. Got a couple Fed speakers, but just kind of doing their little rounds, nothing important. And then next week, don't forget, Monday, the market is closed for MLK Day. Wednesday, there's a red folder Trump speech an hour before the market opens. Then we've got core PCE on Thursday, and GDP, and flash manufacturing and services PMI on Friday next week. Morning, good morning. So with Friday, you can either trade the 0 DTE or the 1 DTE. I will be trading the 7 DTE while on the stream unless otherwise specified. PLTR making a little push right before the open. QQQ popping up pre-market highs. Like I said, first thing I got to do is close out my OPEX calendar here, so I'm paying attention to SPX initially. NASDAQ pushing through pre-market highs. SMH is pushing, PLTR is pushing, MU is pushing. So a little strength in the first few minutes here. Yeah, Bitcoin a little dip. Coin, MSTR, Circle, Hood, all down below yesterday's low. Big banks are pushing up. So we got big banks pushing. We've got some of the chips really pushing. We've got Apple pushing, and then some of the big tech moving lower. All right, just got filled on my 6/7 put calendar. Let me get that posted. I'm on the 69.65 strike. AMD's coming down. Tesla popping up. MU hovering around pre-market high. I'm going to load up some MU calls to have those ready. 7 DTE. I'm going to use the 370s. Meta also popped back up. I'm also going to get my Tesla calls loaded up, 450s. Just getting these ready on my watch list. A couple stocks with good relative strength. Meta tried to push above previous day high, getting rejected. PLTR pulling back to previous day high. Also the 192 half calls on NVIDIA if it does a little breakout and retest. IWM is acting weak. Bitcoin coming down. Nvidia's popping. If we get a pullback to previous day high in Nvidia, I would consider that. It's getting, may take off here without me, but Tesla also dipped back down. Meta popping back up. Meta, I would trade the 630s. PLTR kind of pushing back down now. S&P, NASDAQ just kind of pausing. Bitcoin going through lows. IWM acting really weak. MU popped back up above pre-market high. Tesla new highs. Tesla pushing up to previous day high now. No pullback in Nvidia yet. Amazon weak. Microsoft strong. So there's definitely some strength, especially with the indices not really doing much. AVGO strong. Just popping Meta. Tesla, a little pullback to previous day high. Nvidia definitely showing some of the best relative strength here. And MU, SMCI. S&P still chopping within its first 5-minute bar. If any of you are following the OPEX calendar stuff, I have not closed that yet. I want to see if we get a little bit of a dip here first. PLTR getting heavy. Down through lows. MSTR through lows. Hood back down to lows. Bitcoin through lows. IWM at lows. MU pushing new highs. Nvidia at highs. Tesla at highs. Nvidia starting to pull back to previous day high. I'm watching Nvidia for the 192 half calls. See if we get any kind of strength bouncing off that previous day high.
Order filled.
S&P coming down. Meta dipped and bouncing. Tesla hovering on previous day high. Meta back up to highs. IWM bouncing. Now the S&P and NASDAQ coming down. Tesla and Nvidia just kind of hovering at previous day high. I'm going to go ahead and close one of my OPEX calendars here on this little dip. Okay, I got out of that. Oh, NASDAQ or Nvidia starting to show some strength here. Indices not too strong looking. Still watching Nvidia. I'm going to take the 192 half calls in Nvidia, filled at 234. Shown some good strength versus the indices. Let's see if I can get a push through high. Meta pushing through highs. Tesla still dipping. A little bounce back in the S&P and NASDAQ. So I waited to see a little bit more strength in Nvidia. So I didn't get in as close to the previous day high as I like to, but getting a little push. See if we can get a little pop through. I'll put my first profit target at 260. If we can get a push. Kind of ticked the highs and kind of paused, pulled back. PLTR already all the way down to unchanged now. IWM, big bounce. Tesla popping back up. Man, NVIDIA just kind of rejected at highs. Not what I was looking for. Tesla kind of dipped below previous day high. Looks like it may want to add to its gain. It's holding up really well. NASDAQ still pretty weak. SMH kind of looks like NVIDIA. Apple coming down. Chris, there's nothing about OPEX that says there's going to be a lot of grind. I'm not sure what YouTube guru you got that out of. NVIDIA is still hovering near previous day high. SMCI is pumping. NVIDIA might be going for another try. See if we can get a push through highs on NVIDIA. Tesla looks good for an up move too. I'm just going to stick with NVIDIA. I've got my first profit target at 260. If we can make a little extension. AMD's bouncing now. Netflix trying to bounce off of its lows. Google's weak. Amazon's weak. Apple weak. Meta a little pullback. It's strong.
Order cancelled. Order filled. Order partially filled.
NVIDIA ticked the highs again. We really need the NASDAQ to get some legs under it. Help a brother out. MU still holding strong near the highs. Same with AVGO. AMD trying to make a comeback after being weak early. SMCI is super strong. It's up almost 6.5%. NVIDIA, no extension, just kind of chopping right above previous day high. Same with Tesla. If I would have gotten some profits, first profit target on NVIDIA, I would look to add on another one like Tesla, or really the other ones are the chip names, maybe Meta. But I'm just going to stick with my one position here till I hit a profit target or get out. I need to push up to just under 191 to hit my first profit target. Even with 7 DTE, I'm getting a little decay. I mean, my options are right at break even, right where I got in right here. I mean, I guess I did get it when it was kind of popping up. Tesla dropping down below previous day high. S&P's going through lows. NASDAQ through lows. S&P down to pre-market lows. NASDAQ staying strong though. Or NVIDIA staying strong, I mean.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
NVIDIA, a little dip. NASDAQ, S&P still going down. Russell popped up. I got my finger on the trigger to cut my NVIDIA here. I'm not going to give it too much because I got in above the previous day high here. Markets are acting weak. Give it a minute. Got a few minutes left on this 5-minute candle. SMH also dipping pretty good. A lot of the chips dipping. TSM rolling over.
Order filled.
All right, I'm getting out of NVIDIA. Filled at 204. All right, so seeing some weakness come in really across the board. S&P a few points away from yesterday's close. VIX popping back up to 15.8. I'm going to take this time on this dip to close my OPEX calendar in my IB account.
Order filled.
So for my OPEX calendar, I closed one of them on this dip here with about 15 minutes after the bell, and then I just closed my second one down here. So I'll see where set opens up. I'm going to do a kind of a recap of how I did the OPEX calendar here today. After the restriction Schwab put on last month, kind of changed things up a little bit. So I'll go over that here in a later on today. I'll post a video on that. S&P SPY just touched unchanged. Still going to watch NVIDIA. If things start to get strong and it kind of pops back above previous day high, I'll still consider it. But for now, just holding off. Meta is still acting fairly strong. Tesla kind of rolling over. Google through lows. Microsoft is kind of choppy. PLTR just bleeding lower after popped above previous day high, looked strong for the first 5 minutes, and then just all downhill. Microsoft trying to climb. Meta still holding up. So Microsoft and Meta kind of showing the best relative strength now. SMCI is still strong, but SMH just gave it all up. Big banks are weak. JP Morgan is actually up, but Goldman and Bank of America down. Crypto stocks trying to bounce a little bit. S&P, NASDAQ still dropping. Now the Russell's kind of following to the downside. Bitcoin back through lows, through yesterday's low. Looking on my, if you look at my 15-minute chart or you look at a 15-minute chart, you can see Bitcoin's kind of breaking through. It kind of dipped there overnight. It was yesterday's low. So see if it's going to hold below that. Meta looks like it wants to run today. If this market bounces, I could see Meta popping. A little bounce in S&P and NASDAQ and Russell. Yeah, and Meta reacted nicely, popping right back up to highs. Nvidia's trying to bounce off lows. MU's big pop hit a new all-time high. It's trying to get back above pre-market high. Circle big bounce. IWM back up to highs. JP Morgan through highs. MSTR trying to go green now. Meta about to crack highs. So MU kind of hovering near pre-market highs. Things get strong, MU may want to take another shot at some more all-time highs. Yeah, see that bounce on the S&P and NASDAQ, and Meta just flew through highs.
Order cancelled. Order filled.
Tezzy still coming down. It is not showing any bounce with the indices bouncing. Bitcoin, nice bounce. Yeah, I don't see anything I'm interested in jumping in here. SMCI and Meta are the two strongest. Meta took its Metamucil today. S&P back in the green. NASDAQ held green. Really the only thing showing strength here, though, is Meta, and MSTR just went through highs. Big bounce in Bitcoin. But even with this big bounce, not a lot of not a lot of strength. Except for in those couple names. Yeah, crypto's coming to life. MSTR coin circle all through highs now. Hood is lagging. It's bouncing, but not as strong. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap the stream. When I see something, I'll post in the day trade directional trade channel. See if maybe we get a reversal pattern in the Qs or S&P, or potentially I'll look at maybe a crypto stock. They've definitely got some relative strength. Like I said, Meta and SMCI the strongest, but otherwise something's got to set up. It'll take a little bit. So we'll wrap the stream. I'm going to do a recap of my OPEX calendar, and we'll be back for Power Hour Live. All right, all. Take care. Have a good day.